Hey guys, so I mentioned in the last video that I was having problems with the bike, and I got one of the parts so far. I need the needle and the main jet. I got the main jet right there. Doesn't want to focus though. And I'm going to make a somewhat tutorial video of how to replace that on the 250 V-Star. It'll go the same for the 250 Viragos probably as well. So right now I already have these two seat bolts taken off. There we go. I got these two seat bolts off. So the seat just lifts away and you somewhat pull it back. That takes it off. You got another bolt right here that is a 12mm socket. I left that loose because I knew I'd be coming back into this. So you take off the bolt, washer, this rubber spacer right there. Now you have access to the tank. What you're also going to want to do is take off these two bolts here. They are 8mm. And once you have these bolts off, this will just hang there. You want to just put the bolts back in the holes so you don't lose them. And after all that's said and done, you're going to lift the tank up off this rubber spacer there. You want to like shimmy it backwards. And you kind of lift it up, being careful not to pull anything. And since I have this cup holder, got turn the wheel the other way so that it doesn't hit it. That'll stay in place. Come around the other side. And you'll see that we have a lot of these hoses and my special wires hooked into there. So the main hoses you want to take off, this bottom hose of the petcock, this top hose here that goes to some air apparatus, these two hoses here on the rear of the bike you leave on, those go straight to the tank. So you pinch this, you wiggle it back. There will be fuel, so don't get that on yourself. You just pull that off. And same thing with this, I already have this pinched off. And you just pull that right off. Just like that. Tank can be removed. You want to be careful with this. You want to put it on something soft so it doesn't scratch the tank at all. So we got 4 screws that we got to take off on here. We got one in this top right corner, top left, the screw right down there, right next to the throttle, the idle throttle adjuster. And you got one more right down in there. So you want a long stem, or whatever it's called, Phillips screwdriver. Alright, so now we're looking at the inside of the bowl assembly. Here you have your floats that will stop the flow of gasoline to fill up the bowl. And here you have the main jet, which I'm changing out. You have your idle jet back there. Another nozzle right there. I don't know precisely what that one is. But we don't have to worry about that one, or the back one there. Only this big stem right there, that is the main jet that is causing my problems because I drilled it out. So if you're going to be adjusting your main jet, make sure that you have a spare stock main jet or a spare jet of whichever one you have in there before you modify it. And take it in very small steps. I think that I did jump the gun with what I did. And I went too far, and now it's running way too rich to the point where it was spitting out black smoke like a diesel, nearly. So it's just a flathead screwdriver, take that out, and I am hoping a 8mm wrench right there for the nut. Alright, so it is a 8mm socket, or a 5/16 will work. What you do is you hold it, you have 2 socket parts you can hold it down there or up here. Just holding it down there because I don't have a wrench. Take a flathead screwdriver and you just spin this off. So as you can see in this image, there is a big difference between the main jet that is stock and the one that I drilled out. So the one that I drilled out is way too big for this application, which is why my bike runs like crap now. Let's reinstall the main jet. Use the flathead to tighten it up. You just want to snug it up. You don't need to wrench it down. Just a bit past finger tight. It's time to reinstall the bowl. And you take the tank, which it does have little stoppers here that corresponded there. So you want to slowly and gingerly slide that on until it hooks up. You wiggle it in place. You set it down until it lines up there. You just push the tank back. Press it down, and now it's in place. Now you'll reconnect this hose that has a very sharp angle back to the top of the petcock. They are different size hoses, so you will not be able to get the smaller one onto the fuel part. I'm going to press it all the way down as far as it can go, and then put the pinch clamp on there. Take the fuel line, put that back on there all the way on. You have no chance of fuel leakage. And then you put that pinch clamp on there. Just double check that you have everything correct. If you opened up that drain valve in the bowl, make sure that it's closed. I forgot to the first time that I did this. And then what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to set it to the prime so it can fill the bowl back up. Let it do that for about 10 to 15 seconds. About there should be good. There's no audible sound that I can hear. You just fire it up. That didn't sound good. I do not like that sound. So as you guys just heard, I had problems starting this machine. I think it's from me constantly trying to start it before. When I was having problems, I actually left that in prime. That's not good. But it does start now. It should start easily for anyone else that does this. This was specific to me because I was heavy draw on the battery before, and I left my key on, so that's even more draw on the battery. But it starts up fine now. But what I had to do is I had to bump start it, so I would run alongside the machine, hop on it, and drop the clutch, because you need the pressure on the back tire. You can't just keep running alongside it and drop the clutch. It'll just lock up the back tire. But it is running okay right now. It's not running as good as it did before, so I do believe I need to replace that needle. But aside from that, it's actually running. It's not bogging out at like 4,000 to 6,000 RPM. And plus I probably need to adjust the idle mixture I believe it's running extremely lean right now, ironically, going to the extremes of rich and lean. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, so I can bring back bike vlogs, even though I can't really talk during the vlogs right now. But I will get this all squared away for you guys so that I can actually do vlogs on here. So remember, can't do it in here, but keep your engines loud.